The world as it is today is vast, with technological advancements occurring every year that pushes the boundaries of the imagination. Getting to see that world from the top down is something that those who work in the geoscience field do on a daily basis. My name is Duane, and in this video we will take a look at the world of geographic information systems as it is practiced at the University of the South Pacific. The GIS field is expansive, comprising of information that is gathered from various sources, managed in what is called a geodatabase, and then displayed using GIS software. Putting it simply, GIS users take a view like this, look at it from above in GIS software as is shown here, and provide information to others for decision making. This comes in usually the form of a map, much like this one, which shows native and foreign species on an island. This segment will introduce us to the three lecturers who created and run the geospatial program at USP.
My name is Nick Rawlings. I'm an Associate Professor of GeoSpatial Science within the School of Geography, Earth Science and Environment at USP.
Nathan Wales, and I'm a lecturer in Geospatial Sciences in the School of Geography.
John Lowry, I'm a Senior Lecturer at the University of the South Pacific.
Together, these three instruct the next generation of GIS users in the Pacific. In order to provide the best learning environment possible, students are given a lot of freedom to make decisions, go out in the field, make mistakes, and learn from those mistakes. That is something that is crucial to their learning.
I think failure is a great teacher. When you do something and you get it wrong, and then you find out why you've done it wrong, you find out yourself why you've done it wrong, you never make that same mistake again. So I like to make the geospatial program very hands-on and promote the students to become independent learners.
The idea for a degree in geospatial science had been in demand for quite some time, but it was only recently, with increasing interest and enrollment numbers, that this dream had come to be fully realized.
I first started at USP in 2004. That was when GIS was quite popular at USP, but we didn't have a geospatial identity. I sowed the seed for that geospatial identity back in 2006 when we changed our course codes from GE to GS. Then a few years later I left USP and went back to work in Australia in a different capacity. And then when I had the opportunity to return at the invitation of the Vice-Chancellor to develop the geospatial program, I jumped at it because I knew the time was right for the Pacific. Yeah.
There's been an increasing interest in the geospatial science program at USP, and we've seen that in the numbers of students that are enrolling in these classes.
The new geospatial science program at USP has two major streams of learning: the analyst stream, which is more field data collection oriented, and the developer stream, which introduces a new concept to GIS at USP, Python scripting. One of the most notable changes was the addition of the unit IS 104, or Introduction to Coding. This was to go hand in hand with GS 100, Introduction to Geospatial Science, and together they merge in the unit GS 101.
The best part about it was in semester 1 we did IS 104 and GS 100, and when we came into GS 101 we saw that what we learned in those two units were brought together, and you don't get to see that much. So I mean, it's like what we learned didn't go to waste, like we used it.
The geospatial science program is broad-based and caters to the desires of students. Whether it be outdoor field exercises or lab analysis work, there is a place for those interested in this field.
That's pretty good, because I like working outdoors and it's pretty good. You?
I just happened to stumble across it while doing Facebook.
Mostly collect data instead of sitting around in the labs like Python, like writing programs and all. I'm like more the outside person, so I like to go outside, get the clinometer, go do your pacing, get the calculations, and I come and give those stuff to the developers guys, the gang who come put in the database and write it down. Oh, it's pretty good, yeah.
Students will find that geospatial science complements other major disciplines well, such as geography and land management programs.
Oh, they're very similar. They're a very good combination. We did traversing in GS 101 and we also did the same thing in LM.
First of all, Python scripting is widely used in the geospatial industry. It's the customizing language for ArcGIS, for QGIS, and there are many libraries which you can use to process various types of geospatial data using Python. The second reason is programming gives you a particular mindset, and it develops your problem-solving skills very effectively. So you learn to take a large problem, break it down into smaller steps, solve each one, and then you solve the overall problem. So Python, in fact any programming language, will instill that mindset of problem solving, and to get that at the first year level I think is essential.
It's really important, we feel, for them to at least understand what is going on behind the scenes and how they can customize GIS software, for example, by knowing some programming, some scripting. And Python is becoming a language that is just a scripting language that is applicable in many different technologies and disciplines, and it's key in geospatial science, regardless of the software that you use now.
During their second year in the program, students will get an understanding for geodatabase management in GS201, followed by an introduction to remote sensing in GS211, which uses drone and satellite imagery on a grid of cells.
I was covering, and I still teach, the first year geospatial science course, so the introductory geospatial science course that covers a range of topics, as you would know, and also the second year introductory GIS course, so GS201.
In addition, 2 new units, GS200 and GS231, have been added to the program and will begin running next year.
GS200 is quantitative methods, so this one really focuses on spatial statistics. So it's bringing up the students' expertise in more quantitative methods, in the manipulation of spatial data. They'll be using a programming system called R, which is statistical software. They program themselves, so their Python programming expertise will come invaluable when they start using R. So that's the quantitative methods. The second course, GS231, is cartography and geovisualization. Here students learn more about how they present their data graphically or in some kind of visual form, whether that's a paper map, a computer screen, or an internet web map server.
GS231 is our course that will deal with cartography and geovisualization. And this is a course that's been needed for a long time. It's really a course that will help students learn how to display geographic information in a way that conveys a message quickly and efficiently. That's kind of the idea behind cartography and geovisualization, to take something that might be fairly complex and make it easily interpretable by a viewer. And so we'll be teaching traditional cartography, basically making effective maps, but we'll also be teaching web-based cartography in GS231, along with data visualization techniques that are applicable to geographic data.
With a new program can come changes to the structure of existing units, such as GS350. Originally, this course was designed to let students identify problems in their own countries and solve them using geospatial techniques and present them at a major conference by year's end.
Good afternoon. I'll be presenting to you the project some students from GS350 did throughout this semester 2. I found out that, like it was mentioned earlier, Tarawa have increased the hectare by 233 in 2015, and also in 2015 the settlement increased, water body and bare land decreased, mangrove also increased, and dry land vegetation increased as well in 2015.
GS350 will actually change from being a project-based course to an internship type attachment course. It'll still involve projects, but it'll be, we're hoping to get that more of an internship attachment type course to get students out in industry. The other two courses will be GS302, which will be a field data collection course where the focus will be on field data mapping and field data collection, and then GS311, which will be kind of like an advanced remote sensing course that will focus a lot on high resolution imagery. And so imagery from drones, for example, will be a major focus of GS311.
The new degree program is garnering much attention, not just from new students at USP, but also from members of the workforce who are already working in this field.
GIS used to be a diploma. They offer diploma for GIS, but now they're saying that there's a degree for GIS. So I would very much like to come back and expand my knowledge of GIS in the new program that's being offered.
I think it will be a very huge advantage for all, especially the whole of Fiji. If organizations and other private sectors they come into GIS, it will help work hand in hand for information for third parties, especially for decision making. Able to do a lot of things from GIS.
It's really exciting. Yeah, I mean, just the opportunity to have this breadth of education available to our students, and also the depth that will be coming with it, and the way it's going to prepare our students. I think it's really quite exciting. We're working toward having a lab that would be one that would be used in addition to the current lab, and it would be right across the driveway from the current lab next to the solar panels. And one of the things that we're wanting to do is to have actual solar panels on the new lab that would help generate some of the energy and the power that would be used within the lab, which would make it a green facility, which would be pretty cool as well.
The new drone has a high capacity. It has 2 cameras on board. It has a high definition RGB camera for photogrammetric applications, and it has a hyperspectral imaging unit, which is quite sophisticated remote sensing type activity. So that's principally will be used in GS311, but it will also have application in GS302, and certainly the students will actually be using those drones as part of those courses. So.
For the course lecturers, this new program has been a long time coming, and for them, ensuring that their students from Fiji and the Pacific benefit from this program is a top priority.
You know, I can say this for both Nick, John and I, that the students get a good sort of understanding and a good grasp on various fields or various areas within the geospatial sciences.
My hopes for the new program are, first it will be successful, we'll get healthy enrolments in first year, and more than that, the geospatial movement, as we call it, or the geospatial family as the students call it, will start snowballing, and once we get students in the first, second, third year, then we'll start getting postgraduates, and then we'll start raising the overall standard of geospatial science in the Pacific, and hopefully one day I'll be out of a job and one of my students will be in this position. So.
Well, we really would like to acknowledge the USP for giving their support to the program. USP has been backing it, from the Vice Chancellor to the Dean to a number of other people at the university level. So we'd like to acknowledge them. Of course, the colleagues that I work with that are supportive of it, and the head of school, Professor Bomer, and then the students who've been the ones that have really been pushing for it. We've had students ever since I got here 5 years ago who have been asking me, when is there going to be a full degree in geospatial science? And we've tried a couple of times and to do that, and it's now actually happening. So that that's exciting, is to be able to tell students, yeah, there is a program now, and this is it, and come and join us, and you'll be glad that you did.